Now I would like to introduce today's keynote speaker, Savneet Singh. Savneet is the founder and president of GBI, Gold Bullion International, the first electronic platform that allows investors to buy, trade, and store physical precious metals. The company is now the largest independent provider of precious metals in the United States, and as a result, Savneet has been named to the prestigious Forbes 30 Under 30 list, Crain's 40 Under 40, and the Impact 100 list of top 100 entrepreneurs under the age of 30. I'm jealous. Prior to BGI, Savneet was an investment analyst at Chilton Investment Company, where he covered investments in the technology, alternative energy, and infrastructure space. Prior to Chilton, Savneet worked in the investment banking department of Morgan Stanley. He received his BS in Applied Economics and Management from Cornell, and in addition, Savneet is a member of the World Economic Forum, Global Shapers Group, the Milken Institute, the Economic Club of Manhattan, and served as a board member or advisor to a number of young financial and technology companies. Please join me in welcoming Savneet Singh.
Good afternoon. It's really an honor to stand before you all, and I have to be honest, when I first was asked to come speak before you today, I was very hesitant. You see, I just graduated college about 8 or 9 years ago, and I'm someone who's always believed that there's a lot more to be learned from the life that's been lived, and then a life that's still trying to figure out how life really works. And I put myself in that latter category. By saying that, I'm not saying that what I have to say is worthy of sharing, but that it's a little bit liquid in nature. And, to be honest, I don't really remember one word from my own commencement address. So I thought, today, I'd briefly share with you my story, and then the 2 lessons that I've learned that I'm quite sure aren't liquid, and I'm quite sure I will remember many, many years from now. My story actually starts just a few miles from here. I was born and early raised in the Bronx, New York. When I was in elementary school, my dad decided to move our family to upstate New York because he was disturbed by the violence and drug usage in the area. We landed in a small town outside Albany. My father was a small town doctor, and like many good young Indian men before him, it was assumed that I would also become a doctor. At the age of 14, though, that all changed. It was summer vacation, and my brother and I were playing video games, and my dad came into our room and said, "Get off your butt and go to work." He said, "You need to make $2,000 by the end of the summer, or I'm going to take away the internet, I'm going to take away the TV. You need to really learn how to work." Now, being boisterous young little boys, my brother and I were, we took the challenge. The internet had just started to grow, and my brother and I had discovered eBay. We had both been aggressive collectors of sports cards, baseball cards, football cards, and we said, "Hey, why don't we start a business selling this stuff online?" And so we took some cards, sold it online. But for some reason, unlike other little kids at the time, we took all the money we made and we'd go buy new cards and do it again. And we did it again and again and again. And the business really grew. And it grew so fast that 6 months into the business, the local banker actually called my mother and told her that she thinks her kids are dealing drugs. I won't tell you, but it's a far more escape-creating story that you can just imagine what my mother said to the banker, but I won't talk about that today. So I went to college and decided I wanted to get into finance. Like many before me, I took the plunge and landed on Wall Street. It was a blast. I was in my 20s, making more money than I really deserved to make, and getting used to a lifestyle that I was told, "Hey, you were meant to have that." While never cocky, I certainly developed a confidence that was not really worthy of someone my age. It was a life in bottles and bottles, we used to say back then. Life was happy and it seemed really destined. But all of that changed in 2008. In August of 2008, I received a call from my father telling me that a drunk driver hit his car and my mom wasn't going to make it. It was a devastating moment for our family, and we'd actually been apart for the last 3 years and were our first time back together. Now, for most people, losing a parent at a very young age is a monumental task. My story unfortunately got worse. 2 months later, the hedge fund that I was working at, the one that I was so proud to be at, announced that they were laying off all junior employees no matter how successful you've been. And I had done really well there. The story gets worse. 2 weeks later, I was diagnosed and told I only had a few months to live. And so in a matter of 3 months, I went from feeling like I was at the top of the world to losing my mother and best friend, to losing my career, and feeling that I might lose my life. But we persevered. As the eldest son, I had to fight through the pain and help our family move on. Well, it made all the sense in the world for me to go back and get a normal job and try to just get a paycheck to help the family move forward. It was at that time that I made the decision to go create. I've been living this Wall Street life, but inside I felt like I wasn't really doing anything. I was sitting in front of a computer, betting other people's money to go make money, and oftentimes feeling smart when I really just should have felt feeling lucky. And it's with that kind of mindset that I left and said I wanted to start a company, and I ended up starting this company, GBI, that I still run today. Now, I won't take you through my entrepreneurial journey and the ups and downs of running a company. Instead, I wanted to share with you the first of the 2 lessons that I mentioned at the beginning that I'm quite sure are the only 2 lessons I've learned this far that I will really believe 50 years from now. And to do this, I'm going to share with you a quote from President Theodore Roosevelt that is ingrained this lesson to me, and being a fellow New Yorker, I thought you guys will enjoy. He starts, "It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who actually knows the great enthusiasm and great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails by daring greatly, so that his place shall never be among those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." You see, most people in your seat today are going to walk out that door and are never going to live the life that they really wanted to live. Most people end up living the life they've been told they want to live. Don't be one of those people. Don't live life living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by society, caught in a race to do what everyone else is doing. Go out there and find what truly makes you happy and go do it. This first lesson is take action. You know, I've seen over and over again that there are oftentimes people with really great ideas, but they're scared to go try them because of pride, because of external expectations, because of the fear of embarrassment. But it's those of us in this room who aren't scared to make those mistakes, who aren't scared to break conventional wisdom, and most importantly, those who take action, who end up truly living a happy life. If you've dreamed of starting a business, don't just sit there and talk about it. Go do it. You may fail, but at least you tried and you lived. You went out there and you experienced what living is all about. So few people ever really do that today. And as our president once said, at least you'll experience victory, you'll experience defeat, but you experience something. And, you know, as they say today, you only live once, YOLO. Before I end, I want to share with you the second lesson I learned. This one is the one that I actually hold closest to my heart. And that is that much of life can actually be the result of circumstance. When I began to think about what to speak today, I started thinking about the concept of accomplishment and what you all are feeling today. In today's world, achievement is a very personal thing. The idea that you achieve something today as a simple result of your own direct work. Much is made of that individuality and success today. Unique character, drive, and ambition of those who succeed. These personality traits are often lauded as the keys to success. And while I give much credence to the singular aspects of all of our personalities that make us successful, I also believe much of one's success is based off circumstance. Much of our personality and our character are the direct result of the fortunate situations we found ourselves in. Yes, my own life has been very hard, but I was born in the United States to a family that encouraged education and hard work. That alone provided me the opportunity to success far more than anything I ever did. I didn't do that, that was given to me. Moreover, I was born to a father who set the bar high on character. I was born to a religion whose values corresponded perfectly with the country of my birth. I attended a university that opened up doors that I never could have dreamed of. And this list goes on and on and on. And while I acknowledge that my unique DNA and my unique personality certainly helped in becoming successful, I believe had I not been given those opportunities, and again, given, none of this was created by myself, I would not be standing before you today. In the same way, some of these beneficial circumstances, each one of you, if it wasn't for some of these beneficial circumstances, each one of you would not be sitting here today. All of you are now blessed with circumstance. You've taken an important step in moving your life forward. I'm sure all of you have had to overcome some extreme form of difficulty at some point in your life. However, I'm also sure that at some point in your life you've been the benefactors of positive circumstance. Someone in all your lives must have encouraged you to end up where you are today. And while each one of your stories has involved you fighting many battles to get where you are today, there is no doubt that some part of your story, no matter large or small, that has involved the benefit of circumstance. Whether it's a supportive family, whether it's a mentor, or whether it's just being raised in this country, you've all been the benefit of circumstance. Some part of your success was just not the direct result of you. It's hard for many of us to realize, but it's true for all of us. And if you come to that realization, that some part of your success today, and some part of your success in the future, is not just you, then I'll leave you with this one life lesson. You should leave this fall not only commit yourself to creating success for yourself, but creating some of that circumstance that was given to you to others. Congratulations to each and every one of you. The fun really starts now.
Thank you for that fine address, Savneet. We would like to honor you with this token of our appreciation. I would now like to introduce Dr. Ada Schmitz, our Dean of Academic